Hey everyone, and welcome back for another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie film. And of course, this time I'm going to talk about a sequel to Terminator 1984, and that's T2 Judgment Day, or more Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Came out 1991, so it's gonna be 30th anniversary. And what can I say about this movie that already was said? It proves it proves why it's one of the best sequels of all time. It's still considered one of the greatest sci-fi action films ever, and I agree. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. But don't get me wrong, it's not my favorite Arnold film. It's not my favorite Terminator film, but it's considered by many their favorite movie. But T2 Judgment Day is a classic. It's a classic. It's considered one of the greatest, best films ever. Judgment Day, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I do have this film on Blu-ray, and I really like this film. I think it's a really good film. Definitely one of the greatest sequels of all time. One of the greatest movies in the history. The special effects, epic that changed action movies forever. I agree. It's an epic sequel. Another great action film, another great sci-fi film that deals with paradox, and it's a sequel to 1984 movie, but written by James Cameron and William Wisher, and of course it's produced and directed by James Cameron. And the effects are fantastic. The movie is great. It's a great cinematography. It's a great, beautiful movie to watch. And I really like this film. But I'm more fan of T1. I prefer T1 over this film. I'm more fan of T1 than T2. But that's just me. I love T1 more because it's more horror, because it's more sci-fi, because it's mixed with action, because it's more scary. This movie has only one scene, and that's scary. When you see Sarah's nightmare sequence, her dream, when you see a bomb, falling down in that city, and like you said, there's a light, and like Sarah said, there's a light, and like people and children became like paper. And that scene, I was really terrified. It was really terrifying. It was really scary. That scene, it was really scary when Sarah becomes a skeleton. That was really scary. But James Cameron once again proves that he's still a genius. That he's still great. He did a great direction. I mean, T2 classic. I have nothing much but praised for this sequel. It's considered been one of the greatest sequel ever. I mean, T2, Arnold Schwarzenegger, with his Winchester gun, or T1, as motorcycle cop. I mean, T1000, not T1, T1000. Arnold Schwarzenegger with his great Winchester weapon. I love that, But this movie was the only one that got 4 Oscars, that won 4 Oscars, and it deserves it. This movie deserves it. It still proves why the sequels are still great and why it's still epic sequels. Like I said, the story continues, and the first movie ended. After in the first movie, the Terminator Model 101, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, he tried to eliminate and kill Sarah Connor, but he failed. This time, 10 years later, I think this movie set in 1994 or maybe 1995, because when T1000, played by Robert Patrick, checks checks for John Connor, we found out that he was actually born in 1985, so must be 1995, I guess. Anyway, 10 years after the events of the first movie, Skynet, I'm just gonna call it Skynet, sent another Terminator, this time T1000, because the future for the humanity resistance continue in the year 2029. So now Skynet, they sent another Terminator, this time more fierce Terminator, and this time it's T-1000, played by Robert Patrick, who takes as as pseudo cop. He takes the uniform as a cop, which is more awesome. It's more fearless. He's polyalloy or liquid metal, and he's a shape-shifting, shiny, featureless liquid metal figure, and just show what the character can do. And like that scene. That scene when T-1000 is actually hunting down and chases John Connor in the truck while John Connor is on a motorcycle and hits, and of course T-800, played by Schwarzenegger, jumps with a motorcycle, goes in front of the truck, and he uses his Winchester gun, and shoots the tire of he goes and shoots the tire, he goes and shoots the tire of the truck, and truck hits in the canal, in the canal, and explodes, and that's practical effect, great explosion, practical effect. When you see two stuntmen, driving a kid and an old man driving on a motorcycle, and the truck explodes, that's fantastic, and it just show what the character played by Robert Patrick can do as T-1000. He's a shiny polyalloy liquid metal shifter, shiny featureless liquid metal figure, shape shifting, and he can touch us and he can imitate people, but mostly the copy people are getting killed, and he kills. He uses knives and daggers. He uses daggers with his hand, and that's awesome. The character played by Robert Patrick is awesome. So they send T-1000 as in a uniform as a cop to this time to hunt down and kill John Connor, which he's actually 10 years old in this movie, while he's enjoying his young life. And of course the human resistance, they sent this time a Terminator to protect John, and that's Arnold Schwarzenegger T-800. Great by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, this movie has a heart. It has a heart. Schwarzenegger plays T-800, which he has to locate it. He has to go and locate it, John, because John in the future reprogrammed him and sent him back to stop to protect himself, and then T-800 protects the little kid, and I really like that. And meantime, Sarah Connor has been now played by Linda Hamilton. She's been now closed in pseudo in that mental hospital. That scene I remember that John Cameron wanted to use in Rambo First Part 2, but that scene is deleted. So he put that scene in this movie, in which Sarah Connor is in mental institution. She's actually in a cell, and now because T-1000 is hunting down John, and of course T-800 protects him. John he goes and uses so now T-1000 goes to mental institution because he wants to find Sarah Connor so that he can track down John. Now John and T-800 go back to the mental institution, which they go and save Sarah. Then all three, while Sarah, she goes to kill Miles Dyson because the guy has been responsible that he creates Skynet, and Skynet sends the rocket launchers and attacks Russia, while Russia attacks the US, and he causes a nuclear war. And Sarah that is going to be 1997. I think would be August 28. Actually, August 29 is going to be, and she knows the date. And she tried to blow the computer factory, but she got shot and arrested and thrown to a mental institution. This time Earl Bowen, who was in the first movie, Dr. Stimbleman, is actually a sadistic warden. He's her capture. He keeps treating her like trash. Her man his men, they go and beat Sarah, which I think she didn't do nothing. They force her to these bullshit pills, and of course John and Terminator try to rescue Sarah while T-1000 tries to find her. And of course, Terminator, this time T-800 and John rescue Sarah while she tried to escape from the mental hospital. And I love when Terminator says, "Come with me with you if you wanna live," just like was in the first movie. And then now, and all three now escape while T-1000 goes after them. And meantime, when they go into Mexico, they actually found something. Sarah decides that she's gonna find out Miles Dyson. She goes back to she tries to eliminate Miles Dyson, but John and T-800 try to stop her, which they did. So together, now all four with Miles Dyson, they go to Cyberdyne Systems because they actually convinced Miles Dyson that there's gonna be actually the end of the world. While he's creating, he's creating a Skynet, a brilliant computer, which is gonna start which is going to launch an attack. And and of course they go together. They blow whole Cyberdyne building, whole facility. They put all the bombs, they blow everything. Terminator fucks up with cops, with SWAT teams. They escape. T-1000 hunts them down until the final showdown in which T-800 stabs T-1000 and kills him. And then Sarah launches him in that metal steel, in that pool of metal steel, which in that I think was in that molten metal or steel, molten metal, and because he says there's still one ship to destroy it, and she sent him there. She sent him in that pool of molten metal, and he gets terminated, but he still makes a town, which I love that. But I don't like that he gets terminated or killed. I did not like that, kind of sad, because they created a great character that Arnold played, and he gets terminated. Did not like that much, but yeah, I did not like that much, but yeah. But I love the character that Arnold plays in this movie. Anyway, the movie then, of course, ends with a highway, Sarah Connor narration, and with the music score "You Could Be Mine" by Guns N' Roses. Arnold Schwarzenegger had a lunch with Guns N' Roses, and they did a song for this movie that time. Yeah, what can I say? The effects are great. The effects are really great. The special effects are great, are actually epic. They're actually epic. The action sequences, which I love. My favorite action sequence is when Robert Patrick has been a shape. He runs fast to catch John on a motorcycle. The motorcycle chase, T-1000 grabs a driver, throws him out, and goes with the truck. He hunts down him with the truck. That's my favorite scene. He goes with the truck, hunts him down with the truck, and while John tries to escape with his motorcycle, T-800 jumps with his motorcycle. He goes and jumps with the motorcycle. He goes and jumps with the motorcycle. Yeah, he goes and jumps with the motorcycle. yeah, he goes and jumps the motorcycle, and he goes in front T-1000, while he grabs his Winchester, he grabs his Winchester and goes and boom, fires in the tire, and the truck goes and crashes in that column, in the tunnel, the column, and explodes, where's actually the gasoline, there's a fire, explodes, great practical effect, great explosion, great CGI in this movie, great effects. James Cameron wanted that in the first movie, but that time they weren't CGI, but when the year 1991 came out, the 1990, it came out, he decided to do that, what he wanted, and he did it. He created a perfect sequel, and one of the greatest sequels ever, but yeah, that's actually was, so, but yeah, and when we see Robert Patrick as polyalloy liquid metal, he's a shape-shifting, shiny, featureless liquid metal figure. That's great action scene, my favorite scene. It shows what the character can do. I love when T-1000 is actually in the gallery in the mall. The same mall was previously used in Commando. He's in this mall in the Galleria, and there's also like T-1000-esque. Have you seen him and those two girls? One of them is Nikki Cox. She says, yeah, I think he went to Galleria and to Robert Galleria. great acting performance by Robert Patrick. And I love that scene when when the first time both Terminator face each other. What happens? The T-800 grabs his Winchester, and while John, is in the middle, and he says, "Get down," fires him, and we see all the hole, but it's actually metal hole, liquid metal hole, and of course T-1000 grabs Beretta 92F and fires, bang, 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 and he actually accurate fires, doesn't even flinch. Robert Patrick accurate fires on Terminator. That's my favorite scene, and I love when T-800 protects the kid, goes with his Winchester and goes bang, 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 bang with his Winchester. He blows and bang, bang, bang. And there's a fight scene, and there's actually a fight scene, and and of course T-1000 grabs T-800, throws him out of the window. Just like in the first movie, he gets thrown out of the window. I love that scene, and that's another great scene. It has tons of action, great scene. I do like the night scene when Miles Dyson and I think it was Joe Morton who plays Miles Dyson, a brilliant scientist, and Sarah and John and T-800, they go during the night in the Cyberdyne systems. That building, which I love that they go to this building and they start firing everyone. I love that they go to the building and they put all the explosive devices. And I love when the cops, shows up, all the cops, the SWAT team, the cops, they actually surrender the building. And I like that scene. That's fantastic scene. It's a great scene. It was a great scene. And Terminator, he goes out, and of course the young kid tells him you can't kill anyone. It's a reason, don't kill anyone. And Terminator goes with actually with M134 minigun. He goes with M34 minigun, and the police tells him to surrender. But he ignores the police warning. He kicks the desk, through the window, and goes and fucks all with the minigun. The same minigun was used in Predator, but he goes and fucks all the police cars, destroys all the police cars, avoiding humans, no casualties. I like that. He uses grenade launcher, blows 2 cars. I like that scene. Then of course Miles Dyson blows the floor in the facility. Great practical effect. I like that. There's also another grenade launcher. The first grenade launcher was M79 that actually Arnold was using. The second grenade launcher was MM1 grenade launcher, but he was firing smoke bombs, and I like that, Or I like that when he goes to that hospital and he goes and shoots the security guard in the kneecaps, and he goes and he also walks to the SWAT team in the Cyberdyne systems. He shoots them in the kneecaps. Bang bang bang. Great music score by Brad Fidel. I like that scene. Then he steals the SWAT van. They go with the SWAT van. There's actually a motorcycle. That scene, stuntman in a motorcycle for Robert Patrick as T-1000 goes on the roof, jumps with the motorcycle in the roof, and goes to the helicopter, and then he goes squeeze like a liquid metal into a helicopter, says the guy get out. And I like that, uses the helicopter, the pilot jumps, uses the helicopter, goes to the helicopter, uses Heckler Koch submachine gun, fires on Sarah grabs M16 or more Colt, Commando uses the rifle and fires at him. He shoots her in the leg. I like that. And Arnold goes and stabs the car, destroys the chopper, and he also they also crashed with the van. And you see there's like 1,000 rounds of bullets, fired, and of course T-1000 grabs his shape-shifting dagger and stabs. The driver grabs the Kayorko liquid. Truck goes after them. Arnold T-800. Sarah and John, they uses the small car. While T-1000 is chasing them. And Arnold jumps, in the truck, fucks T-1000, there's a crash. Arnold the stunt double jumps, like that scene, jumps, flips down, and like when T-1000 tries to hurt them, he gets frozen. And I love when Arnold grabs the gun and says, "Hasta la vista, baby," poof, and blows it to pieces. I like that, but he goes back. He starts chasing them. I love the scene when Sarah Connor grabs that machine gun. She grabs that machine gun. I wrote down, but can't find that machine gun. Shotgun. She used the shotgun. I think was. I think she used Remington 870. With folding stock, 12 gauge. She used a shotgun, and of course, when Terminator tries, he uses, he imitates Sarah, but the real Sarah shows up, and John, sees by the legs, and Sarah goes, she says, "Go away, John." She goes, fires him with shotgun, 12 gauge Remington 870, and she goes and uses all the bullets on him, makes like a bullet holes in his chest, But then, of course, Terminator T-1000 shows up, grabs grenade launcher, fires, and the grenade blows him. Great special practical effect, great special effect created by Stan Winston. Stan Winston created special effects, and of course, T-1000 then fall in the pool of molten steel. He falls down and he gets killed. He gets killed. There's also a fight scene in which Arnold T-1000 grabs iron bar and stabs T-1000. T-1000 grabs the bar, kicks him back, and starts fighting. He uses that metal bar, and punches him. He also uses that suspended beam and squash his head. And then they uses iron bar and stabs him in the chest. but there's actually a second power light, and of course Terminator grabs that iron bar, throws down, grabs the grenade launcher, shoots T-1000 and destroys him. I like that. The action sequences are great. I also like the sequence in the mental institution when T-1000 fires on Arnold, and Arnold, they're all three, John, T-800 and Sarah, they're in the they're actually in the elevator, and T-1000 is above them, and Arnold uses his Winchester, shoots them, and Sarah grabs the gun, bam, 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 shoots them. I like that scene. When she goes, they'll actually steal the police car, then the police car, and she uses bam, bam, bam. I like that scene when she shoots. And by the way, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Robert Patrick, and of course Linda Hamilton, they actually all trained, to use properly the guns. That's the reason why Robert Patrick was so fantastic. He didn't flinch because he was training. They were actually training with with how to done with the guns. All the guns you saw were real. They were all training. They all training. And like I said, Linda Hamilton's fantastic as Sarah Connor. Great performance. Arnold Schwarzenegger is actually one of the best. Where was I? Arnold Schwarzenegger is definitely, it proves that he's one of the best action heroes, the best action star ever. It proves why he's one of the best action stars. He did great job. He was fantastic. He did a great job. I really enjoy his character, T-800. It proves why he's still the best. But he's one of the greatest action stars. Linda Hamilton did a great job. She was fantastic. She's the only one. We did not saw her tits. I wish she would be naked in this movie. She wasn't, but she was actually great in shape. She was skinny, and she was also training. She prepared for the role. And of course, Edward Furlong, too bad he had a drug addiction, and in the years, but he did great as John Connor, as 10-year-old kid. He did a great job. Guns N' Roses provided the music score. Watch the music video, which it has actually an action sequences from this movie in the music video with Axl Rose in it. And like I said, those four players did a great job. Two Terminators who time travel in the paradox, in the past, and they face each other, they start fight each other. That's so interesting plot. It's so great, It's so interesting plot. James Cameron was fantastic. I wish that they will actually use Air 15 SP1 rifle with the M200 grenade launcher, just like in Predator. I wish they would use in both the films. Sadly, they didn't use that rifle, that automatic rifle, just like Arnold did in Predator. I wish they would do that. The movie, the cost $102 million as budget, which proves that the CGI effects, were actually very expensive to at the time. Because even the first one did not cost that much as the second one. It didn't cost that much as the second movie. But it made, it was actually a hit. It actually made $520 million. Almost, it's actually made almost $1 billion. Almost $1 billion made this movie. $500 million made worldwide. It was a huge success, and still today, people are talking that's one of the greatest sequels of all time. And I agree, it's a cult classic. It's a classic film. But in my opinion, I'm more fan of T1. I think that T1 is the best one. It's actually my favorite film, but it's not my favorite Arnold film. My favorite Arnold film is Predator. And honestly, T2 is not my favorite sci-fi film. My favorite sci-fi film is this in the middle. This movie in the middle. You see, Demolition Man. That's my favorite sci-fi movie. I think that movie is better than Terminator 2 Judgment Day, in my opinion. This movie, Hard Target is my favorite action film, not Terminator 2 Judgment Day. This movie, underrated. Broken Arrow is my favorite movie. Or James Bond, GoldenEye, my favorite, Die Hard, Roadhouse, those are actually my favorite movies. Predator 2 is actually my favorite sequel. And Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't want to do Predator sequel. He wanted to do the Terminator sequel. He wanted to do more sequel because he get along with James Cameron that time. But yeah, I'll definitely say Cyborg, is actually my favorite sci-fi film. Kickboxer, Out for Justice, Above the Law, Under Siege, Universal Soldier. Those are actually my favorite sci-fi, my favorite action films. My favorite movies are also Demolition Man. I love Demolition Man. This movie, Demolition Man, with Stallone, Snipes. That's my favorite sci-fi film. My favorite sci-fi film. My second favorite sci-fi film is Predator 2. My third favorite film will be Predator 1. Definitely with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator, which I love the film to death. For a while, Terminator 2 Judgment Day was my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger film. Was my favorite Terminator film. But it's been replaced by Predator, and it's also been replaced by the Terminator T1, which I love T1 much more than T2 now. But I like T2. Like I said, I have nothing but praise for this movie. The special effects, epic, that changed action movies forever. I agree. With its groundbreaking use of CGI technology, Terminator 2 Judgment Day shattered the definition of action filmmaking to become one of the most celebrated sequels of all time. I agree. Now, for the first time, see this iconic film as it was meant to be seen, with multiple versions of the film presented in explosive 1080p, high definition, and all new English 6.1 DTS HD master audio, which is really awesome. What's written, it's really awesome. Arnold Schwarzenegger with a shotgun, with his Winchester shotgun. Open scene, he goes in that biker scene, in the biker bar, kicks everyone's ass. He stabs the guy, grabs the little jacket suit. He's on a motorcycle, Bear the Bone. That Bear the Bone song. I like that. But like I say, those movies, even Stone Cold that came on N1, I can enjoy more than T2. It's kinda, when I rewatched the film, beside the action sequences, I kinda got bored with the film. The action sequences were the only reason why I stayed up, because it's kinda 2 hours, 70 minutes, way too long. And my favorite James Cameron film would be Aliens. I enjoy Aliens more. My second favorite is T1, from James Cameron. Probably third will be Abyss, just the Abyss. Maybe number 4, I would say True Lies, then this number 5 of James Cameron. But Aliens is my favorite film. But it's not my number 1 favorite sci-fi film. That's Demolition Man, because it's underrated, because I enjoy Demolition Man more. Which I'll do. I'll give more praise. It's gonna be for 1 hour on Demolition Man when I do that. What I say, great sequel, classic. Special effects changed the movie forever. It earned 4 Oscars. It deserves it. All the players, the evil characters, or the great, good, evil characters, they're great. The showdown, the car chases, the explosions. It has tons of action scenes, but Robert Patrick and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, steal the movie. Those 3 are to me the best one. Great direction by James Cameron. Great music score by Brad Fidel. Great music score, music song by Guns N' Roses, You Could Be Mine. Axl Rose was fantastic that time. I still do have that CD. I still do have that CD. Guns N' Roses. Um, anyway, be right back. Actually, I do have, sorry about it. I do have that CD of Guns N' Roses, which you can see the back, and you can see You Could Be Mine. Let's find the track without show you. Um, um, it's right here. You Could Be Mine. It's right here. That song. Which is such on CD. It's a music video by such on CD. Guns N' Roses. You Could Be Mine. And you see Axl Rose, and you see You Could Be Mine, which is fantastic. I was such a huge fan of that music score that I even bought that CD myself, which is the disc 2. I bought that CD myself because yes, I love the music score You Could Be Mine by Guns N' Roses, because the time Arnold and Guns N' Roses, the band, they actually had a launch and they were discussing how to do a soundtrack for the film. So I really enjoy that song. I think it was a music video by Guns N' Roses, which was actually original, and you see all the scenes, with Sarah Connor, or they go in the elevator and like T-1000 grabs that dagger and stabs through that door, and tries to open it. I like that scene, and that's also the music video. Anyway, that's my movie review on T2. 1991 is gonna be 30th anniversary. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next review, and that's gonna be T3, Rise of the Machines. I'm out. Peace.